Hello, everyone. It's Fred again from Notes of a Nomad. This time I want to record the presentation that I made throughout Nepal in my 12 weeks and visiting all 7 provinces. This presentation was to encourage them to incorporate and implement Agra speakers youth clubs throughout their schools and, and the schools that I visited in Nepal. So let me start with the presentation that I gave. Started with the flag of Nepal, which is unique because it represents the history, the culture, the independence, and it's meaningful to everyone. You know, it's their national pride and identity, the same as the Canadian flag means the same thing to me, you know, national pride and identity of our country. And I say that I brought a gift to the people of Nepal for the future leaders, the young people. And that gift is from Agra Speakers International, who is which is a nonprofit educational foundation registered in Europe. All of our materials are available online. Everything is free of charge. No one gets paid. We're all run by volunteers. So all of us do this because we believe in the mission. And the mission of AGRA is that it empowers you to become a brilliant communicator and a confident leader who will actively build a better world. Now, why is this important? It is so much more important today that these skills are utilized and are available to the young people because the world is changing dramatically. There's so many technologies such as social media, artificial intelligence, robotics, genetics that are impacting our world. I remember the first time I worked on a computer in 1979. It took the top floor of a big office building, cost millions of dollars. And today, the cell phones that we have in our pockets are much more powerful, many times more powerful than that computer. And I mentioned that in the next decade or so, we'll be laughing about these cell phones and smartphones, saying, remember when everybody had the screens and we were always looking at the screens and communicating with these? They'll be gone. They will have disappeared. So that's the world that's changing, and that is impacting the young people. It's causing them a lot of fear and anxiety. I just show a picture from the 1940s. It's a picture there. I am in a picnic we were having. I'm about 2 years old and I'm wearing a hat as I still continue to do so to this day. But just look at the car. It just is an indication of the difference between the world today and the world when I grew up, where there was no television, there was no internet, there were no satellites, none of the technology that's impacting us today and changing our world dramatically existed. So with that, the young people need some assistance because they are fearful. They're full of anxiety, saying, what's going to happen? Am I going to have a job? Because 65% of the jobs that they're going to be doing when they become adults don't even exist. That was a study done a few years ago. So how do you prepare for jobs that don't even exist? Well, there's certain skills that will help. There was books written by Dr. Stephen Covey about the 7 habits of highly effective people. And these lessons, which will help people work together and help share and learn together and make changes, these were some of the skills that he wrote about, including the 8th habit was the second book he wrote. I think it was around 2004, which I believe really refers to leadership. Find your voice and inspire others to find theirs. And that's what we practice in AGRA. And here is a example of 8 core attributes that have been studied and shown that are make an impact and make people have successful and fulfilled and happy lives. You know, being empathetic with others, knowing being curious about what's going on and not just accepting everything as it is, being sociable, working with others, helping each other, being resilient, not giving up, trying. Didn't first thing didn't work, let's try again. Not yet. We haven't solved the problem yet, but we will. Self-awareness, know your skills, your strengths and weaknesses. Help others with theirs. You can help them and they will help you. Work with integrity. Don't use, for example, Chat GPT to write your essays and say you wrote them. Be honest. Okay, so the computer did it, but it's a tool that we can learn to use. Be resourceful and, of course, be creative. With those skills, we can have a positive impact. And this is an example of what we do in Agra Speakers. We have regular meetings where young people practice communication skills, giving each other positive feedback, and helping each other improve to become the best they can be. The first picture I just showed you was some young people that I worked with in Canada. And this second picture is young people in Nepal doing a presentation on some of the skills they have learned. This was in Nepal in one of the schools. And each meeting, this skill has an agenda. Very important that you have a purpose for your meetings and an agenda. And that's a skill that they learn by having regular meetings and with different roles. The one highlighted in pink is the skill of being able to answer questions, learning how to listen and answer questions without any preparation. And then, of course, prepared speeches, where the meeting leader, word of the day, speeches, thought of the day, joke master has time to prepare and present. And last but not least, which I think is the most important, is how to give feedback, assist each other to become better. I've always said if you have two people equally brilliant and they can pass an exam in any field, they could be engineers, scientists, doctors, lawyers, whatever field they're in, they're equally brilliant. But the one person can communicate with others, collaborate with others, help each other become better and help solve problems together. That is the person who has a happier and more fulfilled life than the person who cannot work with others, who says, oh, I'm so smart, I know everything, but cannot share and work with others. This is the person who has a happier, successful, and more fulfilled life. And these are the skills that we learn in Agra Speakers International. We practice on a regular basis. And it's much more than just having those meetings. We learn how to run organizations. We have club leaders who learn skills, and including, as I've highlighted, looking for external projects in your school and in your community. And there's a lot more. This is just the tip of the iceberg. There's debating and icebreakers and language games and projects and learning how to organize events. All of these are skills that they can practice and learn. So with that, it will help them become the leaders that our world needs. We've got some young examples. One would be Malala Yousafzai, the Nobel Peace Prize for helping young people and going to school, and even Greta Thunberg from the Swedish climate change activists. These are young people who are having impact on the world. And with that, they can learn and gain the benefits of public speaking. I did a Google search and said, these are some of the things that they can benefit from, such as a career advancement by being able to speak in public, boost their confidence, critical thinking, personal development, improve their communication and social connections. With personal satisfaction, expand their network of people, learn to be persuasive, and build leadership skills. And another item that came up during my time in Nepal was practicing English. Now, Agra is available in many languages, but if you can learn and improve English, it can have a great benefit on you and on your community and your country. An example is my daughter in Australia was in charge of the computer security department, and she had people working for her in Australia, in Philippines, and in India. She often indicated that the people in the Philippines and India were some of the best people she had working for them. And they could stay in their country because they could communicate in English and they could contribute and not have to leave their country, their culture, their community, and their family and friends. They could stay in their own country and work for a large Australian bank. And these are some of the skills that can help and benefit the people in Nepal because there's a big brain drain. They lose some of their brightest and smartest young people who go and get educated overseas and stay and work in other countries. And I can assure you, they would rather be in Nepal with their family, their friends, their community, and their culture. I have lived overseas and I got homesick after many years living in another country and returned to Canada. So I know that this is a great example of the benefits that AGRA can offer. So with that, I'll just state that my name is Fred Jones. I'm an ambassador for AGRA Speakers International in Canada and also for the AGRA Speakers youth programs around the world. And the mission of AGRA is that it empowers you to become a brilliant communicator and a confident leader who will actively build a better world. And if you are interested in the AGRA Speakers Youth Program in particular, please contact me. I'd be very happy to assist you and point you in the direction of how easy it is. It doesn't cost anything, it's free of charge, and it can have a major impact on the world. So with that, I would like to say this is the gift that I brought to Nepal to help them with their national pride and identity, the skills that you can learn, adults and young people, from AGRA Speakers International. So with that, I'll say adios, au revoir, wishing you, your family and friends lots of love and laughter. Bye for now from Fred and Notes of a Nomad.